going to give a quick tour of Restructured by Kolena. So for this toy example, we're going to start with a bunch of documents. They happen to be invoices and they look something like this, different payment information. And we've got a collection of these invoices and we're going to dump them into Restructured and start to do a little bit of analysis on them. So this is an unstructured data set. There's no metadata associated with any of these documents at the moment. But as you can see from our suggestions, we can very easily start to extract some of that information from these documents. So let's go ahead and grab the date of the invoice, as well as the total amount due for each invoice. And you'll see this is now extracted. Within our data set, we've now immediately turned an unstructured data set into something with structured data that's been extracted. And in addition, we can have some safety checks and verification for where we actually got the content of that extraction from the source document. Now that we have the structured data, we can do some more advanced flows as well. We can ask Restructured to plot the running total overtime. And you can see it's now taken our data set and plotted the total invoice amount over time. We can modify our plot however we like. Let's say we want to hide the grid lines and regenerate this plot. We can also save the plot for future reference. So I'm going to go ahead and do that now. We can always go back, continue to apply further extractions. So in these invoices, I notice some of them have discounts applied, some of them do not. So I'm going to go ahead and extract that information. I'll ask, was a discount applied? And you can see this information is now pulled out of our document and it should match. This document has it. This document does not have a discount applied. And again, we can go and let's say plot the percentage of invoices where a discount was applied as a pie chart. Great, we now have this information as well. Let's go ahead and save that too. Now that we have our analysis in place, we can continue to pump in new data. So I'm going to go ahead and grab a full set of another 15 invoices from later dates. I'm going to go ahead and drop that into Restructured. And you can see both of our analyses have now actually updated with the new data. And if I return to our tabular view, we can see all the new documents are in place and all the existing extractions have been performed automatically for us. In addition to plotting, we can do further analysis. As a very simple example, let's ask, when was the largest invoice paid? And we can see we've returned that document with the associated date and invoice amount. I'm going to give a quick demo of summarization and classification or sentiment analysis inside of Restructured. To start, we're going to do a demo of summarization. We're going to take two documents, drop them into Restructured. Each of these is a transcript recording an investor call from a retailer. Each document is about 20 pages of PDF. So once we have our transcripts dropped in, we're going to attempt to summarize the document. And here we can choose different topics to focus on, as well as the desired length of our summary. So let's start with shareholder buybacks that we might want to learn about in these documents. We'll run this extraction now. And as you can see, for both documents, we've got some quick notes on different buyback plans that this company has. We can also update our length so we can look for longer summaries on different topics. Let's call this one headwinds and ask to focus on missed expectations inside of these calls. And as you can see, we've now got a list of some of the more negative aspects mentioned in these investor calls. In addition, if we ask to summarize on a topic which doesn't exist at all within the document, that's nicely handled. So let's focus on cats, something that's completely not mentioned in these documents at all, and see what kind of summary we get. And as you can see, we've got no summary at all. There's no information within the documents about that topic. Next, to demo sentiment analysis and how that works in Restructured, we're going to start with this data set of several hundred reviews of medication. And you can see each one has a text that's written by a different consumer. And on the text of the review, we're going to run a classification. And we're going to just look for general positive or negative reviews. So we'll run that classification. Okay, and we can see that for each review, we've now got a classification into positive or negative. As we run through our data, we can also update this classification to include or remove new classes. So we can run this now. Okay, and we'll see some of these have included the new class as well. Now that we have our updated data, including our 3 classes for that classification, we can include some plotting and further analysis. So we can ask, how has the percentage of positive reviews changed over time? Great, and we can see in this particular data set a general downward trend of positive reviews over time for these medications.